Should we talk about some of the adverts that started appearing in the early Premier League years? Because I think this is when it really started to get more interesting. They started to have a bit more fun with it. Because as we said, like in some of these older ones, they were all quite serious, weren't they? They were all very like quite professional. Gareth Southgate and the Pizza Hut advert after the Euros. I think this was the one that everyone always remembers.
Come on, Gareth. It only took me 6 years to get over it. Have some pan pizza.
Pan pizza from Pizza Hut. A light, fluffy base with a crispy crust smothered with generous toppings.
Thanks a lot, boys. I feel much better now.
It's weird looking back at this now because you wouldn't do that now, would you? Like, you couldn't have, like, Saka. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and, like,
it'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Kind of taking the piss out of, like, him missing a penalty at last year's Euros. You just wouldn't have that now, would you?
It's funny how, like, the 90s saw itself as being very enlightened, didn't it? The idea of, like, I mean, this in itself is so telling. The idea of a 90s man, with the inbuilt sexism that's in that, was meant to be a very progressive person. But it was kind of cruel, this.
Yeah,
it was a real
I
sense of...
Yeah, I mean, money solves a lot of cruelty, doesn't it? I think it wouldn't be done in this era because he'd get pelters on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
And imagine if he wasn't white. Fuck me. Jesus Christ, can you imagine?
Yeah, I think Gareth Southgate, he said, hasn't he, that he regrets doing the advert now, doesn't he? He said, I wish I hadn't done it. People thought I was cashing in on that moment, which is obviously so famous.
Yeah, it's like...
People thought that I was doing what I was doing.
Very passionate about pizza, and I think that's being lost.
I thought it was quite a good way of owning that.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember the bit of a fallout from it, but maybe it's just the way that I viewed it. I thought like, oh, fair play. Like that's a good way of ripping the Band-Aid off because, you know, the presence of Waddle and Pearce in it was a bit like, you've carried this for 6 years.
Yeah.
And like, if you laugh at yourself, you kind of reappropriate or, you know, take on that thing. It becomes something that you govern, that ridicule.
I know what you mean.
Tell the story.
Ooh, this time he's at the post.
Pizza Hut pan pizza. It always hits the spot.
I think the best one of those, though, was definitely the Jason Scotland one, drinking Iron Brew. This was absolute genius. I didn't actually remember this until we started talking about some of these. And when this one came up, I thought, oh, my God, I forgot about how funny that was. So before the 2006 World Cup, if you don't remember this, Iron Brew released an advert which opened, against all odds, Scotland qualified for the World Cup. Let's go meet the squad. Then when the presenter gets on the team bus, the only player on there was Jason Scotland, who was drinking an Iron Brew. Scotland hadn't actually qualified, but Trinidad and Tobago had for the first time in their history, and Jason Scotland obviously played for them. I thought it was really clever. Yeah. I really like that. I thought it was really funny.
Generally done some amazing adverts. Have you seen the snowman parody they did? No. It was a Christmas advert. It really looked like the snowman. The song's the same. And then the kid's got an Iron Brew, and at the end, the snowman mugs him. Just
good stuff.
It's amazing. I think he falls out of the sky. It's brilliant. They're really good at them.
Hey, we man, who think's gonna win the World Cup?
Scotland!
Good stuff.
What about Righty? He's done a few adverts in his time, hasn't he? But I think one of his first ones was the famous Chicken Tonight one, Vish.
Yes.
Do you remember chicken? What happened to Chicken Tonight?
I think people got a bit obsessed with like making things from scratch, didn't they? So no one really has Chicken Tonight.
Well, was
anymore,
it wasteful because it had like did it have that like the hard vegetables in the top? Or was that in the bottom? And then
it was in the top bit, wasn't it?
Right, okay. And then they'd kind of mix them together. I mean, you just mix them together now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a silly fruit corner kind of solution for a problem we didn't have.
Now, there's something slightly more sophisticated than your everyday cooking sauce. It's called Sizzle and Stir from Chicken Tonight. One could say it's a game of two halves.
It's his voice in the advert. It disturbs me. I don't like it. Right.
Yeah.
It's like he put on this like posh, weird accent.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I don't get it.
Why is he doing that?
Yeah, why? It's like.
Is he meant to be Chris Eubank? And if he is,
sounds a bit
why?
Chris Eubank. Yeah.
Eubank is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Was Chicken Tonight posh?
I don't think so.
I think it was pretending to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like
classy people eat Chicken Tonight.
Got ya.
Yeah.
This is a bit
that's why he's got
weird.
that's why he's got a lovely velvet jacket on, I suppose. Yeah.
It's quite. I just didn't like it at all. It's horrible. Keegan was back. Of course he was.
Keegan
was back in the 90s, this time as manager of Newcastle and the Sugar Puffs advert, which everyone knows and remembers. It's just the best, isn't it?
Yeah, he brings the honey monster off the bench, doesn't he? And then...
which was a big decision at the start,
huge,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of talk of whether he'd actually make the squad because of his injury.
Yeah, but he put the big man up front. He managed to. He scores a goal. Then he goes off and has a bowl of Sugar Puffs. And then they celebrate winning a cup.
Have it before, mate. Carb load.
Do we know if that's a kind of Michael Antonio style celebration he planned that he scores and then he?
I mean, he's about 10 foot tall. You should be playing him, really.
It's
Yeah.
great. There's a line in it where he goes, "That's football, Kev." It's
Yeah.
like, that's not a thing.
That's football, Kev.
Making out like that's a
football,
phrase that everyone says, but it isn't.
Well, did you ever see the ones that when Newcastle were successful in the 90s, Adidas did some ones, and it wasn't it was just advertising their club, I suppose. But Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott trying to convince Alan Shearer to have a perm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was going, "We did very well in Liverpool in the 70s, Alan." And he's going, "Oh, I'm not sure of that." And there's a Les Ferdinand one. There's a Peter Beardsley one as well, where Peter Beardsley was annoyed that Sir Les got best dressed man, but he wears the same clothes as Sir Les. And he was annoyed. He's going, "I'll wear the same clothes as him. I wear the same Newcastle top.
helicopter?
Yeah, where's my helicopter?" It was good. I liked it, man. It was really no nonsense, cool adverts for Newcastle United.
Les, give it a rest. Sorry, boss.
I think Manchester United have had their fair share, haven't they, as well, Vish?
Quite
I mean,
a few.
There's been so many throughout the years, but
We could genuinely do a show
we
on
could
there.
just
on
do a
this.
whole
There's so many
show
Man United ones.
on Man United players featuring in adverts or the club. I think the most well, actually quite a few of them are disturbing, but I think for me, one of the more disturbing ones was the tomato juice one. Because I hate tomato juice. It's the most vile thing. Why does anyone drink tomato? Why would you want to drink tomato juice?
I've only seen people drink it on planes.
I only see
or
people
in
have them in a Bloody
Marys.
Mary. But even they're disgusting.
I love Bloody Marys. I love clamatos, beer and like salt and chili.
Oh,
and,
yes.
and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tomato juice. I love red eye in
it's not for
Japan,
me.
which is just beer and tomato juice together. That's it.
So even having
Fucking
health
brilliant.
issues.
Fucking brilliant.
But this tomato juice advert, Pete, it was done for Japanese TV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was basically them gulping this
Yeah.
tomato. But like, why does anyone want to hear
But
that?
it's like Michael
I don't
Carrick gulping
get
a
it.
tomato
Yeah.
juice. Because Japan's just really odd
Disgusting.
when it comes to these.
That's
sort of
why he
things.
goes back there so often.
It is.
You know, like
Kangaroo.
people avoid the cinema because they don't want to hear people eating and drinking. And this tomato juice decides, I know, let's let everyone hear you drinking this drink. It'll make you buy it.
Yeah.
It didn't make me want to buy it. It's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty rancid. Also, when they film Michael Carrick doing it, he looks out the corner of his eye at the camera. He's like, "Is this for real?"
They must have been doing those like 2 or 3 times a week, just doing adverts. There's so many.
Yeah.
And they
get
take
to
long
them.
as well, don't they?
They do.
They take freaking ages.
Although I
to
imagine
film.
with footballers, they probably only get them for a really short
Yeah,
amount of
that's
time.
true. Which
Yeah.
is probably why they're so bad in them.
Yeah, so wooden.
Yeah, because you've got to take the first
Yeah,
take.
yeah, yeah.
basically.
They're like,
Yeah.
we've only got
Yeah.
one shot at this.
Like the famous Wayne Rooney performance in the wine advert.
The new devil was arriving.
Boss said a new devil is arriving. It's amazing.
Arriving.
They say he is a legend.
Everett's quite good in it. I seem to
Yeah.
recall. Yeah.
Guys, we have a problem. The boss said that new devil is arriving.
Is he well known?
Famous throughout the world.
And what did they say about him?
They say he is a legend.
The weird thing about that advert is it makes absolutely no sense. Like, why does the wine arrive and explode on the pitch at Old
Yeah.
Trafford? What is it? Was that even the wine, or was there just a fireball for no reason?
Why are they scared of? I suppose
what-
if wine flies and explodes,
I'd be
it is quite
terrified.
scary.
Yeah.
But also, it's not wine. It's a weird advert.
It makes no sense.
It needs another 10
General
drafts.
devil.
Yeah.
The follow-up advert was a bottle of white wine exploding over the pitch to get it out.
Very good. It wasn't the only time as well that Rooney took the lead in an advert for United. This was quite good, actually, the Independence Day one.
You think?
Yeah, well, it was involved, wasn't it? There was a lot
Certainly.
going on, and it was quite well done, I thought.
You guys are footballers. What makes you think you could take on an alien army?
We won 20 league titles and 12 FA Cups.
4 League Cups and 20 Community Shields.
I'm fairly certain we can handle a few out-of-towners.
Well, I mean, they were all terrible in it apart from Juan Mata, who actually is a really lovely actor.
Yes, Daily Blind
Like,
was quite funny. He's
Daily
always got
Blind
that
was
line
funny.
in it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, because they call him blind, and he goes, "It's blind."
Mata, young, smiling, blind. Get the position.
It's pronounced blind.
Roger that.
Daley Blind and Jeff Goldblum interacting in an advert. It's very strange.
I quite like that.
They did a few of these, didn't they? I think they did a few movie tie-ins.
I didn't
where it's
mind
basically
this
Man
one.
United players kind of in the movies a bit.
Yeah.
Actually, Hank, I'm thinking of a different mutant. Hello, old friend.
Hello, Charles.
Wayne Rooney? Wayne, we need you on the battlefield again.
Anything for the team.
It's going to take everything you've got to defeat Apocalypse.
Apocalypse who?
Yeah, Chris Smalling was terrible in it. Rooney was awful in it. But Juan Mata looks genuinely excited to be there. Like, he's literally buzzing that he's sort of in Independence Day, the movie, isn't he? He's like absolutely delighted to be
Do you think
there.
he went to watch it and be like, they cut my scene?
I can't check that.
I got you! You thank me later!
I'll thank you right now.
What about Luis Suarez? This is an advert that we've talked about before, haven't we? The one where he works for a Uruguayan financial company, and in the advert he literally plays himself, doesn't he, Jim?
Yeah, he does. So he essentially just sabotages everyone else's working day to make himself look good, doesn't it? It's brilliantly aware. I love how they just love that about him in Uruguay as well.
I think he's really good in it.
Yeah,
he is good actually.
He plays the naughty co-worker very well.
Yeah, real
he?
sort of like chaotic, evil kind of behaviour in the office. Fantastic.
On the other hand, though, Fernando Torres, who's quite known as like a nice guy, isn't he? He plays nice guy in all his adverts. He's basically just done all his mates a favour, hasn't he? And gone, I'll appear in any advert of any product that any of you want to sell just to help you out. And the one that's sort of done the rounds a bit is he appears in this advert, Pete, for his mate's dog training school. And it's filmed so badly.
Yeah,
it's so amateur.
It looks like it's been done on a camcorder, doesn't it?
Like on a digital camera, and they've switched it to video mode.
Hola, soy Fernando Torres y estoy en Narup, la escuela de adiestramiento de mi amigo Nacho.
Narup.
Un negocio que aquí aprenderán a sentarse, a dar la patita.
It's not great, but there's loads of dogs in it, which is cool.
They're sort of like jumping through fire hoops. And
Yeah,
stuff
why are
like
they
that.
jumping through fire?
That's not dog training.
Seems more like a kind of Shinji Kagawa style dog, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Ya lo sabes, si quieres tener un amigo para siempre, tráelo ya a Narup. Lo encontrarás en la carretera de Navalcarnero a Aldea del Fresno, en el kilómetro 200.